There's plenty of money to grow exponentially in silver, in real estate, and in crypto, but are you going to buy in? Good evening, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Silver Dad Knows. Remember, always live with no edits. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button now, as you're going to like what I'm about to say. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece right here. And I understand many of you are probably going, oh my goodness, Silver Dad, Disney has gone woke. And as much as I agree with that statement, as true as that statement is, you are looking at a classic vintage piece right here. You're looking at a collectible commemorative round struck in a troy ounce of highly pure fine silver that features the most famous mouse in the world, Mickey, at the steamboat's wheel, ready to whistle a tune and sound the horns right before Pete, the real captain, kicks him off the bridge. You go to the reverse, and yes, you see the steamboat chugging along and is engraved with Steamboat Willie and the 1928 year date to commemorate the year the animated short was released. So yes, 1928, we're in 2024. This is almost a century ago. This goes back to a time where our great-grandparents were still alive. And you go back in time and you bring our great-great-grandparents to today, they would not recognize this nation. They would not understand how far animation has come in cartoons, how far technology has come in our vehicles, how far technology has just come in general. I mean, it is bewildering. And it would surely freak people out, even just a century ago. Currently, I am seeing these as low as $34 to $35 with free shipping. I mean, they're just gorgeous coins, very, very attractive, very cute, and always going to be in demand because it's something from the past, you know, where yes, it's a modern coin, but it honors a bygone era. That's the best way for me to put it. And real quick, folks, before I continue, I want to give a quick shout out to Veritas Files. And there's a comment from earlier today. Get ready for yourself. Brace yourself. There's going to be a deep comment that I'm about to say. The United States was a nation constructed upon a presupposition, which is that the American people would always be both a moral and religious people, Christian. It is only such a populace that can care for, cultivate, and spread freedom. It is also only such a people that can maintain a capitalist economic system that protects its population from theft, fraud, and coercion through a robust and just rule of law. Without this kind of people, what you end up with is laws that won't protect you, governments that will abuse you, and presidents like Barack Obama and Joseph Biden. If we do not return our first love, God and Jesus Christ, and seek to return virtue to our children, our schools, and our civic life, America will become just as bad and as dark as a cesspool as any totalitarian state or third world nation. We are not special, as we are just human beings. America was special because it took seriously God's existence, God's law, and God's justice. These are all things that we decree, and or mock today, but at some point, a patient God will judge the mockery. When that happens, you want to, as much as is possible, have put yourself into arcs of safety through wisdom, preparedness, locking arms with the like-minded, and holding stored purchasing power and real money for the days ahead. Keep stacking. Phenomenal comments right there from Veritas Files. I love that. And so true, because what you see in front of you is real money. Everything you're looking at is a real asset. And in a world full of fake teachers, this is not an asset which is taught. Why don't our schools teach about money? Why are our teachers more fascinated with knowing their students' pronouns rather than benefiting their students' livelihoods and making it in the real world? Is it maybe because the system wants us to be financially ignorant and thus oppressed? We all use this paper money, yet nobody teaches us about it. The problem with silver right now is that it's being wasted. It's being used up in everything. Solar panels, computers, cell phones, cars, everything. Silver is no longer being produced as abundantly as before. So in the very near future, there will be a silver shortage. Most of the gold has already been taken from the ground these last 4 centuries, but it hasn't been wasted. Gold is always traded and is always put away as a store of value. Silver is both a store of value and industrial. It's already a highly recognizable industrial metal, more so than gold. Long-term silver will outperform gold, just as Bitcoin has done so well against the dollar. When Poor Dad's son got back from Vietnam in 1973, Poor Dad told his son, go to school, get your master's, and get your PhD. Being a career professor, Poor Dad had lost everything with no paycheck and no pension, yet was telling his son to follow the same path. Americans seem to live in a fishbowl where the rest of the world can see in, but Americans can't see out. There's plenty of money to grow exponentially in silver, in real estate, and in crypto, but are you going to buy in? People are bragging that our stock market is at an all-time high, but are forgetting that so is the debt. Academics have failed us. Academics at the highest levels are failing us right now. Currently in Washington, we have all these bureaucrats who care more about getting elected than the citizens which they represent. And yes, before I forget, look at this beautiful, very, very attractive Morgan dollar. So here we have 1889. This is a special year. Struck at 90% silver, this 1889 Morgan dollar was struck at the main U.S. Mint in Philadelphia. This coin bears no mint mark and holds the distinction of being the highest mintage issue of the Morgan dollar series. Boom. Wild West. Reminds me of the game Red Dead. If you didn't notice, well, I'm sure a lot of people know this because the game was so epic, and even my neighbors play it to this day. Their wives play it to this day. But Red Dead Redemption 2, arguably the greatest video game ever made in modern day, takes place in 1899. But it's very close to 1889. So many of these 1889 silver dollars were minted. Millions of the coins were melted under the Pittman Act of 1918. So shortly after they were minted, they were melted, about 30 years later. And then they were melted again with the Silver Act of 1942. However, enough of these remain in existence that even though these are no mint Philadelphia issues, yes, they can be very costly, but at the same time, they do range to be affordable in collectible grades, such as this one. Generally, I see these selling anywhere from $40 to $65. However, I've seen them sell for over $16,000 in pristine, uncirculated condition. This one I will never sell because I actually inherited this one from my grandmother, my son's great-grandmother. So I cherish this one, and she's still alive, God bless her. And it's just really, really, really nice to have, aside from a store of value, memories within my family that I can carry on to with the next generations. And folks, just to end this evening, I do want to remind you, I am a published author. You can go to my description. It will take you to my author page on Amazon. I have 3 books right now that are selling on Amazon. One is a dark comedy. The other one is a crime thriller, and my newest release is a sports thriller. But this sports thriller is much like a crime thriller because it has dealings with the mafia, dealings with gambling, dealing with racetracks and casinos, dealings with addiction, dealings with degeneracy, dealings with betrayal. So it is a baseball story that really doesn't have all that much to do with baseball. It is more about the human experience. So please check it out. You can find that at my description. And right now it's actually still on special. It's still on sale because in about a week, I am going to raise the price. I was already going to do it, but I'm going to do it one more week. But folks, as always, thank you so much for joining us for another evening. This is Silver Dad Knows. God bless you. God bless your household. And God bless America.